Hot sun beating down, burning my feet, just walking around. Hot sun making me sweat. Gators getting close, has it got me? Yeah, I can't dance, I can't talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. I can't dance. Hello, me, Derek Shapiro, here in Pawtucket. The 95 thing. Look at that bridge over there. Yes, here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Welcome for another show here. Derek Shapiro Power Half Hour for the month of May. We made it to the month of May 2023. All over my affiliates, all over Rhode Island. Hello, Rhode Island. Hello, Massachusetts. I think we're in Carver. We're in Andover section, Salem, Lynn, Woburn, and Duluth, Minnesota. DerekShapiroShow.com, VinnyTheBoosh.com, Open Minds Radio, and also Riv Radio. Motorcycles going by here. We have a great show here. We have the one and only Michelle Marotta from Studio City Now podcast in California. She's an actress on the Damian series, another Damian actress. We talked with her. I taped her a few months ago on my podcast, The Derek Shapiro Show. Also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor.fm as I switch it to like Spotify podcast or something like that. But if you still put Anchor.fm, it will lead you to that. We're on Stitcher.com. We're on Listen Notes, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible by Amazon, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio. Let's get this show started. We have the new trailer for my movie coming out May 21st at midnight. Movie internetchannel.yolasite.com. It's called The Glass is Half Full. Let's get the show started here for the month of May. Derek Shapiro Power Half Hour Show from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Hi, Derek Shapiro here, writer, director, and executive producer of The Glass is Half Full. Coming out Sunday at midnight, May 21st on movieinternetchannel.yolasite.com. Starring myself, Derek Shapiro, and my son, River. Stefan, how you feeling?
Like crap.
Like crap? I know.
My name is Sid. My dad got a job in the radio.
Also starring Vinny the Booch Bucci and Serenity Rose.
Hey, do I know you?
I'm Eric.
Eric.
Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you.
Yep. Caroline?
Yes.
Oh, I know where I'm going. You can turn the directions off. I know where I'm going. Also starring Dylan Schneider and Evans A. Daralis. Hey, you must be Evans.
Yes.
You must be Dylan.
Yes.
Also starring newcomers Crystal Myers and Nellie.
Hi, honey.
Erica, how are you?
I miss you.
I miss you too. What are you doing? How's your day going?
Not too bad.
Also guest starring the actor from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, actor Keith Coogan. I'm getting a call from my good friend Keith. Hello, Keith.
Eric, how are you? I heard the news. I'm so sorry.
And here's my son from Foreigner. I want to know what love is. I want to know what love is. And coming out Sunday, May 21st, The Glass is Half Full on movieinternetchannel.yolasite.com. She has another part. She has a whole podcast, Studio City Now, and
Right.
with Michelle
It's Marotta.
Marotta. Italian, right?
Yeah, my mom is Italian. My ex-husband, Satan, he was Italian. I kept the last name.
Ah. So you're from the East Coast. You're from New York.
Yeah, I was born in Beth David Hospital in New York City.
Okay.
Lived in the Bronx till I was 5. My father was in the music industry. So
Really?
the company brought us from New York to Chicago to Phoenix to LA.
And you said off the air, your father founded VJ Records?
No, he was president of VJ.
President of VJ Records. Just like how Tommy Mottola was president of Sony Music.
Yeah, God, I haven't seen him in years.
Mm.
But yeah, but
who's
he was
Mariah
founder.
Carey's?
I'm sorry?
Tommy Mottola's Mariah Carey's ex-husband. So
Yeah.
So you're an actress. part of the Damian series too. I've interviewed a lot of actors and actresses. Part of the Damian series too. You have a podcast and you're an actress, just like me. I'm an actor and I have a podcast. Um, and I've interviewed a lot of actors over the years from the Damian series. I've interviewed Carl Judy when he was alive.
Right.
Did you get to meet Carl Judy?
I did not.
Um, Catherine Norland's been on my show before, and I've acted with Catherine Norland in my movie. Have you acted with Catherine Norland?
Yeah, actually, the very first Starman I did was with Kathleen Norland.
Really?
In a weird world, she's a friend of mine's best friend.
Really?
Which
Isn't Catherine so sweet? Catherine is so
she
sweet.
is one of the most wonderful people ever.
She is. When she did my podcast, and then she agreed to play my sister in my movie New England. She is wonderful. I mean, oh my God, she's just so sweet and everything, and just a wonderful human being, you know. And then of course I interviewed the Spanish actress. I forget her name. It was a while back, and then Colin A. Borden I interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the Tom Hanks of the Damian series. Isn't he?
Yeah, I know the faces.
He always plays a nice guy. He always plays a nice guy in the series, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course I interviewed Michael Vaccaro twice. You know, most recently for something else. But Michael Vaccaro I interviewed a year ago, first, and then I put him in my other movie, Man in Blue Sweats.
Oh, jeez.
So Michael played himself, and Michael's an awesome guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I actually interviewed him last year, but I met Michael about 8 years ago at the premiere of Ron and Laura Do America.
Okay.
I think that was the name of it. But Michael's show was Child of the 70s.
Yes. Child of the 70s. He put Susan Olsen, who played Cindy Brady, in his series. You know?
Oh, he had amazing people in his series. And one of the things he had done, and he mentioned this to me, he said every episode there's somebody different playing the mother. Because, the mother in some of the series like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and, the father in Bewitched, played by different people every season.
Sure. So it was Michael just has a great personality. He's funny, and he knows how to play those arrogant characters in the Damian series. You know.
Yeah. When I reconnected with him, because we had worked together on Darman, and I said, "You're the nicest guy in the world, and you always play these horrible people." And he smiled. I mean,
exactly.
And Mayor Maroney, nicest woman in the world, and she plays these stuck up, head up her butt. She knows everything. People.
And I interviewed Chaz Laughlin, who plays always getting arrested in the Damian series, and he plays like a shady guy in the Damian series. But Chaz is one of the nicest guys too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of protests going on. Of course, you're an actress on the Damian series, of course. Mm-hmm. What's your take on the protests that's going on? Because you have a podcast. You interview Michael, and you interviewed Mia for your podcast, but you still work for Damian, so you're kind of staying neutral, right, with everything.
I'm staying neutral. I didn't even know about the protest. I got a call from my agent who said, "What's going on at Darman?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And I called Michael and I called Mayor and found out. And I have to say, I agree with them. Darman has grown. He has 3 huge studios. He makes a lot of money. And
Sure.
the actors are not, we're getting paid minimal. I mean, I get paid 18 an hour to be an extra. That's not even SAG wages.
Yep.
Um, all three studios,
Right.
I mean, they went up very quickly. They're not up to code, unfortunately. But he's flying back and forth. I'm glad he's making a lot of money, but we're the people who did that for him.
Sure. Sure.
If it wasn't for us, he wouldn't be who he is.
And other than Dar, what other projects do you have? I mean, I know you do your podcast, Studio City Now. You interviewed some incredible people on your podcast too. But what other some acting projects do you
Mhm.
have coming up for yourself other than Dar?
Right now, I'm kind of taking a break. I was really sick. I had COVID. By the way, I shut down the set because of COVID.
Sure. Sure.
I had COVID, then after COVID, I had strep throat twice.
Yeah, I had
Um,
COVID twice. I had COVID twice 2 years ago. Around this time, I had COVID for the first time. I had COVID in October of 2022, just a few months ago, and then I'm kind of feel under the weather now, but it's not COVID. It's a cold. I'm still working. I'm still going out, but it's like a throat infection. But it's not really because I had a scratchy throat. But it's
mhm.
mainly a cold, which I can't get over the cold. But I've still been working, so it's not COVID. Luckily, it's not COVID, and I've still been working full force with this cold. So luckily, it's not COVID. So because I tested myself twice, so a lot of stuff going around. You know what I'm saying?
True. Well, I came back from Hawaii October 2019
Okay.
with, at the time, it was called Corona.
Yes.
So we think I may have had it, or it could have been mono. Nobody knows. I was just so exhausted.
Sure.
But what I'm working on now, I'm taking a break. I do red carpet and celebrity photography.
Really?
So I do. MichelleMarotta.com. I have to update the website.
MichelleMarotta.com.
MichelleMarotta.com.
.com. I like that. I'll put a link from the Derek Shapiro Show.com and everything like that to yours. It's incredible because you interviewed some great people on your platforms, of course, like Michael Amir, but you interviewed someone from the Donna Reed Show.
Yeah, Paul Peterson, who played Jeff on the Donna Reed Show. We've been friends for, oh my God, years.
Sure.
We're both into car culture. And I used to work for George Barris, the Batmobile guy.
The Batmobile guy, okay.
He built the original 1966 Ford Futura Batmobile. My brother and I both worked
Really?
for him, and I met Paul through him.
My son is a
So,
very car fanatic. My son, who's 17, River, he loves everything about cars. He especially cars, anything about
mhm.
cars he loves,
Oh, wow, he should check out the Barris website.
The Barris
But
website?
I think it's called Barris.com.
Okay.
But I worked briefly for George Barris, who I knew most of my life. My brother was his best friend. And, I met a lot of people like Butch Patrick from the Munsters. Of course,
Sure.
Paul. Joe Mantegna,
Joe
Criminal
Montana.
Mind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
just met a lot of people and grateful for everyone I've met and doors that have been opened.
Sure. It's funny because, it seems like 2023, I'm meeting people across the board. Locally here in Rhode Island who does other shows, other podcasts. I mean, new people, Lanier and Chaz, through Michael Vaccaro, meaning you. Because if I didn't hear your podcast through Michael Vaccaro, I want to reach out to you because I just reached out to you because you did a wonderful interview with them, and I did a wonderful interview with them. So we both interview the same people, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool, you know? And
Yeah.
it's just like it's meant to be who you meet to, and I want to share your podcast on my platform too, because you're doing wonderful work. You know, I just love other podcasts. You know, that's why I respect other people in the radio business, because I started out in radio. You know, and my other friend, you know, down in Atlanta, he does a wrestling podcast. You know, and it's like you're meeting, and I knew him for 10 years, and I introduced him to my other friends here in New England, you know. So it's so cool, you know what I'm saying? What do you love about podcasting and about interviewing people? What do you love about your what you do with your podcast?
Well, let me give you a little background, which will, lead up to why I love this. I grew up in the music industry, and I did some acting as a child. The best alien extra in town.
Really?
But I would hang out with my dad, and we'd go see the Art LeBeau show, or now I'm going back to the 60s.
Sure.
I'm going to be 68 this year, so the older people, oh my God, that sounds weird, will recognize names like the real Don Steele and Sam Riddle and Michael Blodgett. And I get to hang out with all these DJs, and I loved it. I grew up, I was a single parent. I had to do something else, because I had to support myself, but always loved radio. I wound up working at Columbia School of Broadcasting and was the voice of the old K West in LA.
Sure.
So still went on to do something else, worked for Rosemary Clooney, was a Playboy bunny.
Really?
I was a cocktail waitress, not a naked bunny.
Okay.
I grew up Catholic. I have a lot of guilt. So, and it always led me back to radio. But I never really had a chance to really do radio or to do podcasting, which became very popular the past couple of years. But I'd always done voiceovers.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a demo one day, and I'm in the studio with my engineer, who's like one of my closest friends. Shout out to Michael Rafferty. And he shuts the door and he says, "You want to do a podcast?" "Yes, but I don't know what to do." And he said, "This is what we're doing." He put together a logo, got me on Anchor, which, goes to everywhere, showed me how to edit, which is my big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Who do you know?" And I said, "Everyone." So the first interview I did was a guy who did my headshots, who was a filmmaker, Mark Cartwright. So he does sci-fi. And that's how it got.
Okay. Sure.
Oops. Okay, yeah, my alarm went off. So that's how I got into podcasting. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Cool.
So I looked at one YouTube, started listening to other podcasts, got on the phone, called my friends, went through LinkedIn, connected with Ruth Davis from Ruth Davis Consulting in Virginia. And she's been helping me, and she sends me all her clients. So I've been doing this 3 years now. I have 123 podcasts up. And that's how I got into it. The background just kind of led up to doing it. Also got involved with something called Chords, Vines, and Dines. My friend Kat Ellis has a radio show out of Temecula. So she's had me on, and she showed me the ropes too, and she's wonderful. It all just kind of happened.
That's good.
Plus,
it's funny because it's funny because I have a few other friends that start a podcast too. So like I'm kind of like showing them the ropes too. You know what I'm saying? So it's so cool when you can give back and show other people too and make their dreams come true too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've got to tell you, because I do the celebrity and red carpet photography, I reconnected
Sure.
with a lot of people. And once I started having more confidence doing the podcast, I just hand out a card and say, call me. I have a podcast. I'd love to be on it. So the people I have lined up, like Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains.
Oh, I interviewed Kirk Cameron.
Oh, really?
Yes, I interviewed Kirk Cameron before. So 6 degrees of separation. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, I love Jeremy and his girlfriend, Joni. Just wonderful
Really?
people.
Sure.
I worked the Hollywood show this weekend. It's like the autograph show. In a weird sense of the word, in a roundabout way, I'm a former Disney kid because I was on a show that was bought by Disney many years ago.
Really?
Yeah. I was an extra on a show called It's About Time. You see the back of my head. There are only two of us left living, but, we're going back 65 years.
65 years ago. Sure.
Yeah, a couple of my math may be off. We're going back to the 60s. So I reached out to Pat Carty. He has not done the show. He kind of wants to stay out of the show biz right now. God, who did I reach out to? I've had everybody. I've had writers. I've had authors. I've had actors, singers, songwriters. I had Jimmy Buffett in a weird sense. John M. out of Nashville, who is a singer-songwriter.
Sure.
Paul Peterson from the Donna Reed Show. Branscombe Richmond from Renegade.
Sure.
Though I haven't edited that yet. I've had women trying to get other women out of poverty. Oh my God, I've had everyone. I've had a guy who is like one of my dearest friends and the coolest guy in Utah, Clayne Wayman. His parents were in one of those polygamous cults. He has 4 out of 45 kids.
Really?
And it took him years to escape. He doesn't talk to most of his family, which made his life easier. He's a financial guy up in Utah, married, 4 daughters. And he does these spiritual trips to the Amazon. So I talked to him the other day. I'm going to talk to him next week about something personal. But I think I'm going to go on the next spiritual journey to the Amazon.
That's
so
cool.
I've had him on. I think 3 times. I had a singer-songwriter, Sky Delaney, who, Sky?
No, I'm just following what you're saying. I'm just, this is fascinating,
Oh, Sky always sells out at the whiskey whenever she's there. Finally met her in person at a party. It's like we knew each other immediately. Wonderful singer-songwriter. Patrick Kilpatrick, who is an actor. He ran for governor of California. And he's got a great voice.
Yep.
Miles Dalton. Pardon me?
Well, answer the phone. No, it's funny because when you said the governor of California, right? I happened to run into the former first lady of California, Maria Shriver, because when I go to the Cape, right? I went to the I said that I showed my kids the Kennedy compound. It's so close to where I live. So we took a drive through the compound, and guess who's walking? Maria Shriver. So I I don't want to be like a stalker, but I got on my car. I says, Maria, I just want to say I just love you. You know, you're great. I'm in broadcasting too. You know, she's in broadcasting. And then I went back to my car. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get an autograph. I just want to say, you know, you're wonderful because Maria Shriver, hello, you know, the former First Lady of California and the Kennedys, you know. So I went
Yeah.
up to Maria Shriver, you know.
Yeah, I've actually met Robert Kennedy Jr. I have a
Sure.
funeral notice from when Robert Kennedy Sr. was assassinated,
Okay.
signed by Ethel Kennedy. I should probably have it permaplaqued. It's in
Sure.
my drawer. Love Robert Kennedy Jr. Love what he does for the environment. I'm trying to think. I've had so many incredible people. Stanley Livingston from My Three Sons,
Sure.
which was a series in the 60s.
I remember My Three Sons because I'll be you know, back in the day when I lived with my parents, we'd be watching My Three Sons on Nick at Night. You know what I'm saying? So I love My Three Sons back in the day. Yeah.
Now, do you remember when Robbie got married to Tina Cole, the blonde?
Don't remember. I don't remember that. I wasn't a big fan of that show, but I watched it because my parents were watching it. So, you know, yeah.
Well,
I was more into Full House. You know, Full House
mhm.
in the '90s. The you know, Punky Brewster. You know those shows. But it was funny because I interviewed Kirk Cameron and I interviewed Kirk Cameron's sister Candace Cameron Bure. You know,
Oh, I love
so
her.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Candace is awesome. You know. So um um so again, MichelleMarotta.com is your website, right?
It is. I have
And
to update it,
then-
but I have photos on it.
sure. And then Studio City Now, your podcast is on all the platforms, iHeartRadio, uh, Amazon.
iHeart, Amazon Music, Audible, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Breaker, Stretcher, very popular in Singapore.
Singapore. I like that. Singapore.
I've always wanted to go. After I saw Crazy Rich Asians, I'm like, I got to go see that city.
Sure. Oh, crazy. Yeah, Rich Asians. Great, great series over there. Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, I absolutely love that show, that series, or it's too early, the movie. It was so heartwarming because she
Sure.
falls in love with this guy, has no clue who he is, and he is so low key, and he's
Sure.
kind of hot.
Yeah. Well, I thank you, Michelle, for being part of my podcast and having the privilege to interview you and you're great to know and people out there, Studio City Now, follow her on the different platforms. I'm gonna carry her podcast because you're just a positive influence. You're positive for your podcast. And I just love working with other podcasters and getting to know other podcasters because you know working together and let other people know about you and getting you out there too because you're such a positive influence. You know, you have a positive mind and positive soul. So you know.
Thank you so much, and thank you for reaching out to me this morning.
Well, thank you for reaching out to me again too. So it's so cool to have you. So thank you, Michelle Marotta, Eric Shapiro show here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so now I'm on Reservoir and Park Avenue. That's when the flood happened when my old car got towed on Labor Day. Anyway, thank you much for watching and listening. This great episode for the month of May already. I call that May sweeps. Look at the ground over here, like CVS over here, parking lot. They really need sweeps. I guess that's why they call them May sweeps. All right, from Pawtucket to Cranston. Thank you much for watching and listening. Take it easy. We'll see you next month in June, my birthday month. Bye-bye. Hot sun beating down, burning my feet, just walking around. Hot sun making me sweat. Gators getting close, has it got me? Yeah, I can't dance I can't talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. I can't dance.